It's another beautiful day for baseball in the two Virginias as the Rams take on the Reinhardt Eagles here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Well, everybody, my name is Bailey Engel, and I'm glad to have you with us here for what could be a huge AAC conference series coming up with one game today and then two games tomorrow. The Reinhardt Eagles near the top of the conference at 16-5 in the AAC and 32-13 overall. Rams coming off of a doubleheader sweep against Hiwassee College, an NCCAA team that actually came in here to Bowen Field and beat the Rams by 10 in the first game and then just by one run in the second game. So Bluefield's trying to bounce back on a great day for baseball, just a little bit chilly here at Bowen Field. Starting at shortstop and batting first for Reinhardt, Daniel Rodriguez. Matt Trawick, the center fielder, bats second, and then Caleb Swayze, the right fielder, will bat third. Sherman Graves batting cleanup and playing at first base, while the third baseman Jacob Cagle will bat fifth and play at third. Matthew Vaccaro, the DH, will bat sixth. Andres Ugarte, the catcher, batting seventh. Abel Nunez, the left fielder, batting eighth. And Chandler Wold will close out the lineup for the Reinhardt Eagles. Out in the field for Bluefield, it's pretty much the same thing. Castro and Perez right in the middle of the infield. Marcus Espinal at third base. Then over at first, it will be Oscar Torres. From left to right in the outfield, it'll be Josh McGee, Jordan Ackerman, and then out in right field, Nick Meadows. Jordan Jackson will complete the battery with the starting pitcher today, Caleb Newman, the senior from Oregon. Just moments from the first pitch, going to have the national anthem coming up for you in just a moment. It's Rams versus Eagles on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Right back here at Bowen Field, almost ready for the first pitch between the Bluefield College Rams and the Reinhardt Eagles. Boy, Reinhardt coming into this one with a head full of steam at 32-13 and 16-5 in the AAC. While Caleb Newman will get that start on the mound today. Newman with an 8.78 ERA, 5 wins and 2 losses, 40 innings pitched, 68 hits, 45 runs, 39 of them earned. Giving up 12 walks and has notched 30 strikeouts. Good little crowd starting to form here on a great Friday afternoon for baseball. Rams going with the blue jerseys and the white pants for the 3rd straight game. And then Reinhardt comes with the navy blue jerseys as well as the white pants. Reinhardt from Waleska, Georgia, about a 6-hour trip, now stepping into Bowen Field. Here's Daniel Rodriguez, the shortstop. Newman, the righty, facing the righty, kicks and fires. A fastball right down Broadway, not for a strike, and the count is 0-1. Actually have 3 umpires working this crew today. No clouds in sight, and the leaves starting to come in on the trees. 0-1. Swung on, slapped on the ground, right back to Newman. He pops to first in time. That's a good way to start out this inning. So now with 1 out and still no score, here's Matt Trawick. So Trawick comes into this game with a .313 average. Still looking for his first homer this year, but he has 18 RBIs. Scored 37 runs. That's tied for second on the team. First pitch, and the righty belts it back foul. So Trawick, the senior from Suwanee, Georgia. Standing in at 5'11", 200 pounds, digging in right side. Caleb Newman, not a small guy either, as he rocks and readies. Now the 0-1. Well, a changeup dropping outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So the Eagles coming in near the top of the AAC. The Rams trying to clinch their way into the tournament. 1-1. Swung on, hit hard on the ground, but straight at Marcus Espinal at third. He carries and fires on target. There's 2 outs in the top of the first.
Right fielder, Caleb Swayze.
Here's Caleb Swayze. The right fielder leads this team in average. He has 5 homers and 27 RBIs. Inning .333, steps in left side. Now here's the pitch. The fastball misses outside on the lefty, ball 1. Well, Reinhardt has nobody on with 2 outs in the top of the first. Got a little bit of wind favoring towards the batter's eye in center field. .335 on the corners here at Bowen. And Newman pitches. Swung on and chopped into the dirt over at second base. Fielded cleanly by Perez. And it's a 1-2-3 start to the game. Rams going to come up and face Jason Gifford when we come back. Bottom of the first, due up right after this. Welcome back to Bowen, everybody. Still no score, bottom of the first, and Bailey Castro will lead it off against the pitcher, Jason Gifford. Gifford, the right-handed pitcher, a junior from Warner Robins, Georgia. Actually a transfer from North Carolina A&T. Stand in against Bailey Castro. A lot of barking on the first base side for Bluefield, headed by Mike White over at third base. Big laugh of Cagle, the third baseman, first pitch. And Castro waits on a changeup, and it goes right down Broadway. Castro starting to slow down a little bit, trying to get right back into the swinging way of things. He's hitting .389, so still when you're slowing down, that's how great of a start to the season he had. Now the 0-1. Swing and a miss, and he chucked the bat. So he's quickly down, no balls, 2 strikes. Well, the pitching end for Jason Gifford, an impressive 2.69 ERA, 7-2 win-loss record for the Friday starter. He's been the workhorse with 70 and a third innings pitched, 52 hits, only 24 runs, 21 earned, 17 walks, and 69 strikeouts. From the belt, a slow kick and the pitch. The fastball flares outside of the righty. So it'll be Castro, Perez, and then Josh McGee, followed by Marcus Espinal in the cleanup spot. Ball and 2 strikes. Now the offer. Swung on, hit up the middle, snapped on a bounce by Rodriguez, throw to first in time. So Castro retired to start out the bottom of the first, still looking for the first score between these teams. And with 1 out, here comes Jose Perez. Jose Perez still leading the Rams in average. He's got a .474 average. Just about a week removed from him being the top hitter in the entire NAIA. No homers and 31 RBIs. He scored 42 runs this year. That leads the team for Bluefield. Also has 12 stolen bases. One of the best table setters in the country. First pitch shows to slap bunt, and the fastball drops in the dirt and bounces behind Ugarte. So Reinhardt has Cagle positioned at third base, Rodriguez at short. Wold at second, and at first it's Graves. Left to right in the outfield, Nunez, Trawick, and Swayze. And Ugarte completes the battery with Jason Gifford. Ball and a strike to Jose Perez. Here's the pitch. A fastball goes right down Broadway. Evens the count, 1-1. Perez, coming from Puerto Rico, always talks about the competition he faced there. Well, the competition's getting even better now. 1-1. Swung on and chopped foul off the body of Perez. And Reinhardt actually is throwing it around. Perez says that he actually chopped the ball into his body, and now, good thing they have a couple of umpires to talk this over. As Jose Perez didn't even try to run to first, he knew that he chopped that ball into his body. Meanwhile, it was fielded by the pitcher. Gifford threw to first, and then Perez didn't even try to run that out. So it looked like from our press box advantage right here that Perez hit the ball off his body. And Jose Perez is out. So Jose Perez will walk into the dugout. That is bizarre. Now, it looked like the way that the ball bounced it off of him, you know, I had to call it foul from up here, and especially when Jose Perez didn't run. Umpire never said it. And that'll bring up Josh McGee. So Bluefield now with 2 outs quickly in the bottom of the first. Gifford gets one there. Pitch. Fastball inside. Well, McGee hit his 14th home run the other day. Now has 52 RBIs on the year. 1 ball, no strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Hefty cut from Josh McGee. And a ball and a strike for McGee. Digs right back in right side. The senior from Louisiana. Wielding the yellow bat once again. Gifford deals. Swing and a miss on a changeup. McGee well out in front. Now the righty left fielder is down in a 1-2 hole with 2 outs. Both pitchers trying to execute a nearly perfect top of the first as well as the bottom of the first. With the wind now dead, the 1-2. Fastball just missing outside, and no, called it at the last second. Delayed call from the umpire. McGee goes down on strikes looking. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. It's 0-0 headed to the second. Still no score. A weird bottom of the first for Bluefield, and now they'll head up with a 4-5-6 of Reinhardt. First pitch from Caleb Newman. It's a fastball that hits the outside corner on Sherman Graves. Graves, the senior from Covington, Georgia. Actually a transfer from Savannah State. Steps in right side, quickly down 0-1. The pitch. Well, a curveball drops outside, evens the count at 1-1. So still no clouds in the sky. Maybe one of the more beautiful days we've had it in Bluefield. Just around 55 degrees. 1-1. Graves hits it on the ground hard down the third baseline, but foul. And the first baseman is hitting .307 on the year, leading the team in homers, actually tied with Jacob Cagle with 9 home runs. But no tie in the lead for RBIs as Graves has belted in 43 runs. Just playing in one game today, have a doubleheader starting at 12. Now the 1-2. Swung on and hit off the end of the bat foul, dribbling behind Jordan Jackson. The Rams with the blue jerseys that have the white letters across the front in typical baseball cursive style. Also have the white numbers on the back with the white trim to the sleeves. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Good one there. Jackson able to snag it, so it's not a drop third strike. And it's the first strikeout of the day for the senior from Oregon. Got to think that maybe the Rams will go with a ton of breaking ball pitchers today. Here's Jacob Cagle. Cable coming from Canton, Georgia. A lot of guys from the Peach State. And the first pitch. And the righty serves it out to left field past the stretch of Bailey Castro. It's the first hit of the day for either team with one out in the top of the second.
Designated hitter Matthew Vaccaro.
That'll bring up Matthew Vaccaro with the runner at first. Vaccaro on the year hitting under 300. He's actually the first batter in the lineup today we have seen from Reinhardt that's not hitting over the 300 mark. So that's 4 homers and 31 RBIs. Struck out 19 times so far this year. Pitch. Fastball low. Kind of a bent knee stance to Vaccaro, the DH. Reinhardt at second in the AAC as the runner goes. Swinging a grounder. Snagged by Perez. Out at second. Throw to first in time. What a great double play there. Jose Perez in the right place at the right time eliminates Cagle and then throws out Vaccaro at first. So the double play turn there going into the bottom of the second at 0-0. Good double play there, turned by Jose Perez to end the top of the second, and now we're in the bottom of the second inning, still no score. And Marcus Espinal will lead it off against Jason Gifford, who had a scoreless top of the first, or bottom of the first. Here's Marcus Espinal, standing in right side, wearing number 17. Now Gifford with the white cap and all, high kick in the pitch. A fastball that crosses the knees, strike one. Espinal on the year at .291. Does have 3 homers and 30 RBIs. Delayed kick, 0-1. Fastball high. Well, Gifford has a deliberate delivery. So far today, he has slowed down the kick, and the Rams haven't had anybody to force him to work in the stretch, but takes his time and makes Espinal guess where the timing. The 1-1. Swung on, slice foul, and that ball will carry over that batting facility and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. It'll be Espinal, Jackson, and Oscar Torres all due up for Bluefield. Rams definitely fired up after a couple of bad losses against Hiwassee the other day. It was really shocking for Bluefield. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So now 71 strikeouts on the year for Jason Gifford, and Bluefield has 1 out in the bottom of the second. Especially in that first game, they just let it get away from them. And the Tigers came in here and won 14-4. And now the Rams are a team that plays very well at home, so that's another reason why it came so shocking. They're 11-5 at home. That's their first doubleheader that was swept at home as Jackson cuts and misses. In the second game, it was 4-2. Rams had a few more chances, but the Tigers pitching just eliminated Bluefield. Batting right-handed, Jordan Jackson, the senior from New Jersey. The fastball goes a little bit too high from the letters. Count evens at a ball and a strike with 1 out. Nobody on, still no score. Jason Gifford in his navy blue jersey looks out of the glove and pitches. Beautiful breaking pitch as the hammer drops inside the strike zone. Ball and 2 strikes. Gifford working into a motion here. The 1-2. Swung on and a bouncer chopped to short, fielded by Rodriguez. His throw in time as it's caught by Graves. Rams still waiting on their first hit. 2 outs, bottom of the second. Now Oscar Torres will step up to the plate. Torres hitting .325 on the year. He's been the first baseman after the injury of Austin Browning. Was usually the go-to DH, but now has been forced to play at that first baseman role after Browning hurt his hand. Gifford readies and pitches. On the breaking ball that notches in outside corner, strike one. 2 gone, Rams looking for their first run of the day. Jason Gifford dealing so far. He steps back and fires. Another breaking ball, and that's a nasty one, strike 2. So just like that, Oscar Torres is down. No balls, 2 strikes. Gifford calling time. He has just worked into a great motion here. 0-2. Just a bit outside, and you got to wait for a second, but Oscar Torres, that's ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on. There's been a lot of breaking pitches for Jason Gifford. The pitch, not that time. It's a fastball up at the batter's helmet. Two balls, 2 strikes. Well, Gifford working into an even count. He offers swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Throwing to first, Ugarte on target. 3 strikeouts already for Jason Gifford. 2 innings in the books in game 1 of this 3-game set at 0-0. Still no score in what could be a pitching duel if Caleb Newman can keep this going. Top of the 3rd inning. Andres Ugarte, the catcher, steps in. First pitch, and number 4 pops it up down the right field line. Meadows will gallop over towards the bullpen. It'll just fall out of play. Strike 1. So on the other end, Jason Gifford so far dealing. He has 3 strikeouts. Got to remember, there's only been 6 outs, and half of them strikeouts for the righty. Caleb Newman does have 1. Ugarte awaits. The 0-1. Fastball just a bit outside. Ugarte making his 25th start this year, .244 average. He's got 1 bomb and 12 RBIs. 1-1 served up, and a fastball flies high and in. Ugarte, a sophomore from Valencia, Venezuela. And now Newman pitches. Swinging another chopper, third base side, and there's strike 2. It's commendable. A lot of these guys coming from non-English speaking countries. You look at Jose Perez for Bluefield and then Andres Ugarte for Reinhardt. And a move to places like Bluefield, West Virginia, as well as Waleska, Georgia. Could be a challenge. 2-2. Fastball outside corner, strike 3. Another delayed strike 3 call, but Caleb Newman has his second K in the books. Here's Abel Nunez.
Left fielder, Abel Nunez.
Nunez coming from Yonkers, New York. Pitch, liner into center. No doubt it's a base hit. The roll all the way to Ackerman, and Nunez is on with a one-out single. That's the second hit allowed by Caleb Newman today. We're in the top of the third. Both teams looking for their first score, and here's the 9-hitter. Chandler Wold, another junior from Canton, Georgia. Stands in right side with a runner at first. Last time this situation happened, Jose Perez turned to double play. Here's the first offer. Big swing and a miss. Well, Caleb Newman trying to bounce back. He had a rough outing against Emory and Henry a few days ago. Fielded a ball on the pitcher's mound and then just chucked it into center field, trying to turn a 1-6-3 double play. 0-1. Swung on and lifted out to right center field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Rolling all the way to the alley. Ackerman picks it up. Throw to Perez. Cut off by Castro. He'll lob it home, and now it goes behind Jackson. Luckily, right there to back it up, Caleb Newman. So there's a double from Chandler Wold, and Nunez is at third base. So it didn't look like Ackerman hit his cutoff man in Perez. Instead got it to Bailey Castro. Castro threw it home. Jackson wasn't really ready there, but Caleb Newman, good thing he was right to back it up. Nunez was about to go home. So just one out and two runners in scoring position. Here's Daniel Rodriguez, 0 for 1. Reinhardt flirting with scoring for the first time today in the top of the third. Newman coming, sent. Pitch. Swung on and hit high in the air out to center. It should be enough to score a run. Ackerman makes the catch. Nunez tags up. Cut off by Castro, and it's a sacrifice fly, and it's 1-0. Meanwhile, Wold goes over to third base, and Rodriguez has the game's first RBI.
Center fielder, Matt Schrader.
Here comes Matt Trawick with a runner at third. Well, Newman can definitely determine this a win if he keeps the runner at third base. Trawick also grounded out his last time. Pitch, and the righty slices it down the right field line, and it is foul. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Reinhardt receiving a couple of votes to be ranked in the NAIA. Over 30 wins on the year. Check swing on an 0-1, bouncing in the dirt. He went around, no balls, 2 strikes. Newman trying to keep that runner at third. Chandler Wold beckons fourth on the corner. The 0-2. In the dirt, Jackson scoops to keep it in front. John Harris at third base. Trying to keep his team alive as the pitch goes outside. Here's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Newman ready to go. The pitch. Trawick smacks it down the left field line. It's foul. He's staying alive. Already 1 run scoring on 2 hits. The sacrifice fly from Daniel Rodriguez brought in Abel Nunez. Caleb Newman trying to get out of this 2-strike count. Oh, Reinhardt, one of the better hitting teams in the AAC. Have to see if Newman can do something here. Possibly go breaking ball. Comes set and fires. Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Jackson will have to throw to first, and he does. That's strikeout number 3, and the runner stays at third base. Still 1-0 after a run scores on 2 hits, no errors, and a runner left at third. It's 1-0 Eagles. Jordan Ackerman will lead it off for Bluefield, down 1-0 into the bottom of the third inning, excuse me. Ackerman on the left side facing off against Jason Gifford, who already has 3 strikeouts. Pitch. And the lefty watches it cross the belt, strike 1. See how Ackerman does against one of the best pitchers in the entire conference. He's hitting .417 on the year now with 5 homers and 36 ribbies. The 0-1. Swung on and hit hard down the right field line, and that's going to bounce for a base hit. Rolling all the way to the wall, Ackerman on his way to second, and he'll stay there with a leadoff stand-up double. That gets the Bluefield bench into it, and that'll bring up Nick Meadows.
Right fielder, Nick Meadows.
Meadows also starting to heat up. He hit a big homer the other day. His second of the season. And ended up being in his 14-4 loss to Hiwassee, but you can see him start to heat up. Runner at second base in Jordan Ackerman. Could be the tying run. Meadows with that signature spread out stance. Now Gifford has to work from the stretch for the first time. Pitch. Swung on, it bounced up the middle, sneaking through for a base hit. Fielded by Trawick. He's going to relay it in to keep Ackerman over at third base. And almost rolled all the way through the catcher, and Meadows is staying at first, and he thought he had to go at least round it, but Garrett Schilling was pretty upset, the first base coach for Bluefield, trying to make sure his freshman knew to go to second base. So that could have baited a throw to second that would have brought Ackerman in. So a freshman base running mistake, and now the infield, at least on the corners, looks like it's going right around the lines. Now to bring up Joseph Cardona. Couple of singles in a row. Already 1-0. So the bottom end of the lineup looking good for Bluefield. Big lead for Meadows at first. Dangerous base runner at third for Jordan Ackerman. Pitch. Cardona with a check swing in the dirt. Kept in front by Ugarte. We're in the bottom of the third. It's 1-0. We've seen a few times with Nick Meadows this year. The communication with his base coaches has been a bit off. Meadows was held up at third one time and tried to go all the way home, and he was thrown out at home by about 3 steps. 1-0. Another check swing from Cardona. Cardona, the DH, trying to step up here. He needs at least a fly ball that'll bring in Ackerman. And knowing the speed of Ackerman, it doesn't need to be that deep. no outs and 2 runners on the corners. 2-0. Swung on and just smacked back foul. Now 2 balls, 1 strike. Wearing that big elbow guard on his right elbow. Cardona, the lefty, trying to poke one into the outfield. Gifford looks at Meadows at first. 2-1. In the dirt, Ugarte just slaps it forward. And now there are 3 balls and 1 strike. But just a bad pitch away from walking the bases loaded, no outs. Bailey Castro and Jose Perez on deck. And 2 convincing hits from Meadows and Ackerman. Batters count 3-1. Swing and a miss. Cardona was looking for the right field foul pole that time. Strike 2, full count. That might be sort of the problem with Joseph Cardona. It looks like he's trying to absolutely destroy the ball every time. And a few times he's just missed it and just went way under the ball. Payoff. Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. And there is out number 1. Strikeout number 4 for Gifford. Now the double play could be intact to keep Ackerman away from going home. Back to the top of the lineup, it's Bailey Castro. Oh, with those infielders creeping back, gotta wonder if Bailey Castro might try to sneak a good bunt here. Try to squeeze. First pitch. Castro slices it foul, right side. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And seriously, folks, if you're not here, you're missing out. Kind of a sweatshirt day, but still no clouds in sight. Not too hot and definitely not too cold. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. No wind blowing. Pitch. Swing and a foul ball again. Right back to the backstop. Now the double play still intact. Meadows at first. Rodriguez and Wold would love to turn something. Oh-2 from Gifford. Fastball in, and Castro had to limbo back. And now there are 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ackerman on with a double. He's at third. Meadows with a single at first. One to nothing Reinhardt. We're just in the bottom of the third. Still getting interesting here. Gifford in his first jam. Takes a long time and delivers. Swung on, popped up right side, and the ball will carry out of play. Bailey Castro in a big spot here, trying to knock in the tying run. Pitch. Have to wait as a pickoff attempt is attempted at first. Castro, the junior from San Diego, California. Trying to bring in his West Coast teammate, Jordan Ackerman. Not a big lead for Ackerman at third. One-two. Outside and low, scraping in the dirt. Ugarte with a good job there of keeping it in front. There's ball 2. A long at bat here to Bailey Castro. Gifford always seems to work slow, especially when there are runners on the bases. Have to see if Castro can leak one into the outfield. Ackerman at third, Meadows at first. 2-2. Outside and low, ball 3. And the count is loaded up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. After 2 opening base hits, this almost came to a standstill. 3-2. Swung on, ground ball, bouncing up the middle. Fielded there by Rodriguez, taps second and throws to first. And the nightmare to happen in the bottom of the third happens after 2 straight hits to start out the inning. Bluefield able to hit into a double play there. So it's still 1-0. Reinhardt all excited as they go into the dugout to start out the 4th inning. Devastating end to the bottom of the third for Bluefield. Runners on the corners with 1 out, and Bailey Castro just grounds over to Rodriguez during the double play by himself. So Caleb Newman goes out on the mound in the 4th inning, down 1-0 to Reinhardt. The 3-4-5 are due up for the Eagles. Here's Caleb Swayze, the pitch. Swung on and hit high in the air out to left center. Doesn't have a lot of drift on it. Ackerman calls for it, and he'll make the catch as him and McGee converge. There's a loud out. Swayze just didn't get enough drive on it. There's 1 gone. Run scoring at the top of the third thanks to the sacrifice fly from Daniel Rodriguez that brought in Abel Nunez. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Healthy cut there from Sherman Graves. He's one of 2 strikeouts accumulated by Caleb Newman. Doing a good job so far. He's just allowed 3 hits. Has to weather the flames here, the 0-1. Swung on and popped up right side out of play. After a couple of crushing losses against Hiwassee a few days ago, Bluefield really needs to get back into the swing of things in the AAC. It's a big weekend for them. 2 games against Reinhardt tomorrow. Now the 0-2. Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. This will likely get Graves to first, and he'll sprint there. Jackson couldn't find it as it bounced behind him. So the 4th strikeout today for Caleb Newman, but it won't count for an out. Just 1 out. Here's Jacob Cagle. Got on with a single his last time. He's one of the 3 hits for Reinhardt. That's in the top of the 4th. The Eagles lead the Rams 1-0. Thanks for tuning in here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. First pitch. Cagle lifts it high in the air, right side, foul territory. Torres trying to find it, and he will. Out number 2. Second pop-up in this inning for the Eagles. So Reinhardt in the AAC is 16-5. We're at second right behind Bryan. And 1 right in front of Tennessee Wesleyan. The pitch, runner goes. Jackson throws to second, skips in late. And Perez thought he had the tag there to go into the dugout. Good steal from Sherman Graves, who dove in Pete Rose style. I guess technically there is a three-game tie or three-way tie for first. Three teams had a 16-5 record. Runner at second, 1-0. In the dirt, rolls away from Jackson, and Graves will sprint over to third. So Matthew Vaccaro up in a 2-0 count. Caleb Newman going with these breaking pitches. Jordan Jackson is just trying to slide to keep it alive. You got to think there should be 3 outs. Graves struck out. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Vaccaro hit into a double play that ended the top of the second his last time. 2-0. Fastball right across the middle, and Newman creeps back into the strike zone. Got a 2-1. Both dugouts very excited as the 2-1 flares outside. Reinhardt's got a drum beat going. Bluefield on the edge of their dugout wall just chanting at their pitcher as well. Got a 3-1, 1-0 Reinhardt. Vaccaro has his bat at an angle right behind his helmet. 3-1. Swung on and chopped towards third. Espinal charges, fields, lobs to first, and with the stretch, Torres tapped his foot on the bag. So no runs score on no errors and a man left at third base. It's still 1-0 Reinhardt, but Bluefield trying to come back when we come back on the bottom of the fourth. Rams down 1-0. Caleb Newman getting out of that jam in the top of the fourth. Now here we are in the bottom of the fourth. Jose Perez trying to get on base after he grounded out in an unorthodox way back in the first inning. Thought he chopped the ball off of his leg. Gifford threw it over to first, and the umpires called him out. The pitch. Now Perez strides into it, watches the fastball go low. Jason Gifford doing a solid job on the mound so far. He's got 4 strikeouts today, allowed 2 hits, and the Rams did not score in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0. Fastball high. And Jose Perez, not exactly a gigantic strike zone to throw to. But between him and Jordan Ackerman, the 2 shortest players on the team, the best hitters. That pitch is grounded hard on the right side, speared in the dirt by Wold, stays with it, and Perez will get to first base anyway as the second baseman couldn't get it up. It'll be scored as a hit for Jose Perez, and that's a great way to start it out here. Now Josh McGee steps up to the plate. He went down looking to end the first inning. He's one of those 4 strikeouts. Takes a big cut now trying to bring Jose Perez in. Oh, pickoff attempt. Got to watch out for Jose Perez, already with 12 stolen bags on the year. More and more fans making their way out for Senior Day festivities. That'll be tomorrow. Another pickoff attempt, slowly at first. Yours truly will be on the mic for that. Of course, that will not be broadcasted. That'll just be before the game. Runner at first. 1-0 Reinhardt. Another pickoff attempt, and that was a close one. You can tell Gifford really knows what he's doing here. A good pickoff attempt. Perez just quick to dive back. Still no pitches as of yet to Josh McGee, the righty. Wind blowing behind Gifford. He offers. Swung on and lifted into shallow right. Could be trouble. And that'll drop in for a base hit. Perez rounding into second and now sprinting to third. He'll get there. Josh McGee splitting the difference between Wold, the second baseman, as well as Trawick and Swayze in the outfield. And that shallow lifted blooper is good enough to put runners on the corners with no outs. Same situation Bluefield had in the bottom of the third. Have to see if they can do anything with it with Marcus Espinal. Rams now out hitting Reinhardt in this game with their fourth hit of the ball game. Still 1-0 Reinhardt though. And Marcus Espinal with a chance maybe can float this one deep enough to score Jose Perez. 0 for 1 with a strikeout though. McGee beckoning fourth at first base. A good lead for him. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Hefty breaking ball there from Gifford. No balls, 1 strike. Jordan Jackson on deck for Bluefield. Last time the Rams had this situation, they couldn't score a run and Castro grounded into a double play. 0-1. Swung on and hit over to second. Toss to short there, throw to first in time. And there's a double play, but the run scores. It's now tied up. So Espinal will not get the RBI, but still for Bluefield, it is a tie ball game, 1-1. 4-6-3 double play to let some air out of the Bluefield sails for Jordan Jackson. You really can't get anything by these middle infielders for Reinhardt. These guys are the real deal. The pitch. Now Jackson with a stride and watches the breaking pitch hit the outside corner. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Kick in the offer. Swing and a miss. Jackson trying to send a high fastball on a ride, and he can't. Rams looking for a series opening win. Playing against one of the best teams in the AAC and trying to make sure they can solidify a space in the tournament. Rocks 0-2. Check swing on a ball outside. Didn't go around, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Top 8 teams make the tournament. The Rams are right there. Gifford rocks, unloads. Change up just a bit outside, and Jackson was about ready to go into the dugout. That was close. That was 6 homers on the year for Jordan Jackson. No ducks on the pond. Rams have already scored a run, though. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Wind blowing out towards left, and time called by the catcher. Wind now stagnant as Gifford nods. He pitches. Bit outside again in the dirt. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So another strikeout on the day for Jason Gifford, but he allows a run on 2 hits, no errors. Espinal grounds into the double play, but it brought in Jose Perez to tie the game. 4 innings in the books at Bowen Field. It's 1-1 Eagles and Rams when we come back. Rams score a run in the bottom of the 4th. Now it's 1-1. Caleb Newman dealing to Andres Ugarte. The pitch, and the catcher pops it up right side. It'll curve out of play. Ugarte went down looking. 2 strikeouts on the day for Caleb Newman. So far, he's got 4. And the senior from Oregon steps off. Ugarte coming from Venezuela. Bluefield with a lot of confidence now after scoring a run. Have to see if Newman can keep it going. He pitches. The overhead delivery, he fires a strike right down the pipe. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Sun right overhead near the pitcher's mound. Quickly up 0-2, looking for his 5th strikeout. The offer. Outside, ball 1. Not outside corner, though. Umpire had to think about it, and Newman was just about ready to throw that one around. A lot of barking from the Eagles dugout, though. The 1-2. Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Jackson can't find it. And there's the 2nd straight inning where Newman's able to get the strikeout, but the ball bounces away from the catcher. Those breaking pitches must be nasty, but still, now here comes a courtesy runner for the catcher. It's going to be M.J. Arnold, the sophomore from Augusta, Georgia. These Reinhardt players are just chasing these breaking balls in the dirt. And for Bluefield's catcher, Jordan Jackson, it's been a little bit of a struggle to keep them in play. Here comes Abel Nunez, no outs. Now the pitch. Nunez takes a fastball high and in, ball 1. We've got a doubleheader starting at noon tomorrow. 9-inning game and a 7-inning game, all part of Senior Day festivities. A lot of seniors on this team, notable ones, Ackerman and McGee. 1-0. Swing and a pop-up left side. Jackson looks at it, and that ball will just get out of here in a hurry. 1 ball, 1 strike. Busy day in the 2 Virginias for baseball. They have the Coppinger tournament. It's a region-wide tournament playing with Southern West Virginia teams as well as Southwest Virginia teams. That's all going to conclude here soon at Bowen Field. Pickoff, not in time. Ball and a strike. Here's Nunez. Batting right-handed. Newman coming set. Nods, runner goes, showing bunt, pitches high, throw to second, and the runner is toast. What a play by Jordan Jackson. So the senior serves it up to Jose Perez, and Ugarte is taken off the base paths. 1 out, and now a 2-1 count. Rather, it's 3-1. We'll check it right back. 2-1. That's outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. Jackson saw that coming from a mile away. 3-1 offer. Right down the middle, strike 2. Full count. Ugarte looked like he had a big jump, but it was just the right pitch for Jackson to already throw it down. Ugarte was beat by about 3 steps. Payoff. Foul tip right off the left arm of the umpire. He's wincing his teeth right now, but he seems to be okay. Three balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. 1-1 the score. At the top of the 5th. Working into a rhythm. Those fielders playing back in the grass. Starts the motion. Offers the payoff. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Second strike out of the inning for Caleb Newman. Now Bluefield rode around with 2 outs. So 6 strikes out for the righty from Oregon. Now he's off Chandler Wold. Double. Here's the pitch. Wold takes a fastball outside. Righty up. 1 ball, no strikes. Bluefield already started out with better pitching than they had in the midweek games. 1-0. Right down Broadway, strike 1. Count evens at 1-1. Newman working fast, wasting no time. Swung on and popped up. It'll lift over the backstop and right over that awning. Strike 2. So the tall righty coming from Oregon digs in right back on the mound. Looks into his battery mate Jordan Jackson. Chandler Wold down in a 1-2 count. Steps back, kick, pitch. Just a bit outside, Jackson tried to frame it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What a statement it would be here for Newman to get his 7th strikeout on the day. 2-2. Once again outside and low. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the righty has worked himself into a full count. Here's the payoff. Fastball high, and he walks Wold. That's a good job by Wold of being a little bit picky on those last couple of pitches. Right back to the top of the lineup for Reinhardt, all tied up at 1-1 in the 5th inning. Here's Daniel Rodriguez. Rodriguez 0 for 1. He grounded out to start out the game, and he also had a sacrifice fly that brought in the game's only run for the Eagles. That was back in the 3rd inning. Here we are in the 5th. Runner at first. The pitch. Fastball right down the pipe again. Newman working into the zone. Oh, Gil Suarez, actually the 3rd base coach, giving in a new sign. Let's see if they roll the dice with Wold. The 0-1. Flaring outside on the breaking ball. Got to watch out for those breaking balls from Caleb Newman. These Reinhardt batters have really swung through a lot of the low junk in the dirt, and it's bounced away from Jordan Jackson. A couple of missed opportunities for the Eagles today, putting those runners on and then not being able to score. Big lead for Wold at first base. 1-1 deal. Fastball outside. Now into a batter's count. Daniel Rodriguez, the shortstop, awaiting the 2-1 pitch. Trying to keep this going, the senior from Panama City, Panama. Waving the bat, he's ready. Big lead for Wold at first base. Got a 2-1, runner goes. Swing, or rather he looked at it outside. Throw to second, not in time. Little off target. That was called a strike. Count is at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. So Newman trying to get out of this inning as Wold steals a bag. Jackson couldn't get his 2nd throw down of the game. Coming set, Newman checks the runner. Couple of glances for the tall pitcher, and he fires. Swung on and lifted into center field. Ackerman able to chase up and make the easy catch, and that's it for the top of the 5th. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and Chandler Wold, after being walked, was left at second base. All tied up, it's 1-1. 4.5 in the books at Bowen Field, and Bluefield's trying to take the lead when we come back on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Rams trying to take the lead. It's 1-1. Oscar Torres facing off against Jason Gifford. So far, this game has been a duel of two great pitchers. Jason Gifford likely the favorite as one of the better pitchers in the AAC, but Caleb Newman showing so far so good. As Oscar Torres takes a big cut and a miss. He struck out to end the second inning. 2 strikeouts on the day for Jason Gifford. He's got 5 so far, 6 on the other end for Newman. And Oscar Torres swings and misses again. Rams in the 6, 7, 8 part of their lineup. Ackerman and Nick Meadows due up next. Both of them have hits. Ackerman has done a great job anchoring the bottom third of the lineup. Here's the 0-2. Fastball missing outside. Reinhardt tied for first in the AAC, and Bluefield near the bottom, but still in the tournament. 1 ball, 2 strikes, no outs. 1-1 the score. Gifford fires. Check swing on a fastball high. Looking for the appeal. No, he did not go. There's ball 2. 3 umpire crew today. Relatively rare here in NAIA as well as AAC baseball. I mean, even in the minor league games played here at Bowen Field, the Appalachian League only has 2. 2-2. Fastball just a bit outside. Torres almost jumped over that home plate there. It's ball 3. Bluefield needs a hit here from Torres. Rocks and offers with the payoff. And the dirt, and Oscar Torres walks. After being down quickly 0-2, he'll get the base on balls. And that is the first walk today from Jason Gifford. We're in the bottom of the 5th. At least fielding-wise and pitching-wise, Bluefield is really night and day difference from the games we saw a few days ago against Hiwassee. Start for Alex Perkins. Didn't really see the best stuff from Edgar Reyes either. The pitch, Ackerman drills it down the right field line. That's tipped and in foul territory. And the question is, was Graves in fair territory when he smacked that ball down? And the umpire calls it foul. Schilling was looking over and pointing to tell Ackerman to keep going, as well as Torres. And now it's a lengthy conversation between the home plate umpire as well as Mike White. Just trying to clarify here. Ackerman was so early on that, though. And now Mike White will turn around and go back to third base. So it kind of looked like Graves had it, and it tipped off of his glove and then punched it into foul territory. Got it. No balls, 1 strike. Bluefield getting into it. All tied up at 1-1. The pitch. Swinging on another big foul ball, rocketing back to the backstop. Ackerman has a double today. He was left at third, back in the third. Really the hottest hitter for Bluefield right now. Giver taking a look at Torres at first. The 0-2. Swung on and popped up. That'll sail right over the press box, out of play. So Ackerman spraying them all around here. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Pitch. Swung on and drilled. Foul ball. That's going to sail into the atmosphere and drop into the bullpen. And with no outs, Jordan Ackerman's just battling here, fouling them all around. This is one of the better battles in the AAC. If you're paying attention to the baseball played in this conference, you got one of the best hitters in the league right here against maybe one of the best pitchers in the league, with over 70 strikeouts on the year. All tied up at 1-1. The offer. Swung on and hit high in the air. Not enough on it, though, out to left. Nunez will just collapse the ball into his glove for out number 1. Here's Nick Meadows. Meadows 1 for 1 with a single. Oscar Torres led off the bottom of the 5th with a walk. Pitch and a fastball hits the inside corner to the freshman. Well, if Nick Meadows can find some consistent hitting, it's going to be easier for Bluefield to come off with big wins against teams like Reinhardt as well as Tennessee Wesleyan. We only have one more conference series coming up, though, against Union. That's next week. 0-1. Swung on and hit high in the air out to left. Once again, not enough on it. And Nunez steps up to make the catch. Torres goes back to first base. 2 gone, 1-1, bottom of the 5th. And Joseph Cardona, he struck out his last time. The DH trying to find some sort of consistency. He'll be the unlikely hero if he's able to rip this one down the line. Stands in left side. Oscar Torres just going off for the bag, shuffling with a small lead at first base. The offer. Fastball outside and low. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. In a game 1 of this 3-game set, so far so good. Good baseball being played here at Bowen Field. Gifford offers up, and a fastball goes high. Cardona, the freshman from Arecibo, Puerto Rico. A couple of guys coming from the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico on this team, Jose Perez being the other. 2-0. Another fastball. This time it hits the outside corner. There's strike 1. Count it 2-1. Rather, it looks like he flashed up 2-2. Another pickoff. Torres just scampers back. No dive. Cardona, the 9-hitter, really due for a hit. The pitch. Swinging a ground ball, sneaking through into right field. There's a base hit for Cardona, and the freshman keeps the inning alive. Good single there from Cardona, battling through, putting it on the dirt. That'll bring up Bailey Castro. He's 0 for 2 today. A couple of crucial ground outs for him. The last time Castro was up, he grounded into that double play right at Rodriguez at short. That was with runners on the corners and 1 out. So now it's 1-1. That's the 5th hit of the day for the Rams. First pitch. Castro cuts and misses. Strike 1. Billy Castro, the leadoff man. Oscar Torres is over at second base. Talking it up with the shortstop, Rodriguez. Oh, 1. Swung on and sliced foul. Ball just drifting into the forest. Quickly down, no balls, 2 strikes. It's a 1-1 ball game. Boy, with Bailey Castro, he finds a way to work up the pitch count in these at-bats. Well, Bradley Martin will have to bring in a couple of new baseballs for the umpire to work with. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. First place team in the AAC going up against Bluefield. Looking for an upset in game 1. And some momentum going into senior day tomorrow. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Waving his bat on his shoulder. The 0-2. Check swing, pitch outside. Did he go? Yes. Castro goes down on strikes. Another big strikeout for Gifford. And the Rams once again leave 2 runners on base. So now to the 6th inning, all knotted up. It's still 1-1. All tied up 1-1. We're in the 6th inning now. Caleb Newman with the first pitch. Fastball goes outside. It's 1-0. As far as the count goes, Matt Trawick, the 2-hitter. So far, he's 0 for 2. Good day on the mound for Caleb Newman so far. 1-0. Check swing outside. And it's 2 balls, no strikes. Rams leaving 2 runners on in the bottom of the 5th. They've scored 1 run today. That was after Espinal grounded into a double play. Pitch. Swung on and lifted high in the air out to left. Once again, not enough power on it. McGee will make the catch. Definitely had the height, but not the distance. There's out number 1 of the 6th inning. Now stepping up to the plate, the left-handed batter, Caleb Swayze. Caleb Newman has just allowed 3 hits so far today and hasn't allowed one since the 3rd inning. And the first pitch to Swayze is a fastball that cranks into the outside corner, strike 1. 0-1. Swung on and ripped. Left center field. That ball has some carry, and it's going to bounce onto the warning track and roll to the wall. Caleb Swayze sprinting around second. He's going to be held up there. That's a healthy hit for the right fielder. Well, that was a frozen rope from him, and it looked like that was getting out of here. No wind billowing out towards left field, maybe with a little bit of a gust. There's a homer for Swayze. But instead now it's a double, so Caleb Newman can now just breathe a little bit. He's got one out to work for, and here's Sherman Graves, who he struck out twice. First pitch. And Graves rips it left side. There's a base hit down the line. McGee trying to chase it, and the runner will score. Meanwhile, Graves coming to third, and now he's going to be in there with a triple. RBI triple. It looked like McGee thought that that ball was foul and just stood there, and the ball rolled all the way out towards the wall. So now it's 2-1 Reinhardt. Mental error there. Josh McGee didn't give it enough chase, and Sherman Graves avenging those 2 strikeouts now as a hard hit triple. And here comes Mike White. Mike White's going to walk all the way over to the third base umpire and try to see if this one was fair. It was such a hard hit ball, it's hard to keep up with on our press box line. We've already seen a couple of discussions with Mike White and these umpires today. 2-1 the score, Reinhardt here in the top of the 6th inning. An RBI triple for Sherman Graves. I gotta wonder what he's arguing about here. Josh McGee thought that ball was so foul, didn't try to chase it, and it rolled all the way out towards left. So the ball was likely going to get to the wall anyway. McGee probably could have held it up to be a double. Now stepping up to the plate on the right side with a 2-1 lead, here's Jacob Cagle. Cagle 1 for 2. And now the infield coming in for Bluefield. 2-1 the score. Both teams now with 5 hits, and Reinhardt is amped up on the third base side. First pitch. Fastball low. One ball, no strikes, one out. Boy, for Reinhardt, they are really excited after that triple. 1-0. Just a bit outside, but hitting the corner. Count evens at 1-1. Just with one out, got to think with a ground ball. Bluefield tries to go home. Pitch in the dirt. Jackson lets it go right by him, but he'll keep it in front. Reinhardt beating the drums in the dugout right under our press box. You can hear and feel the vibration here. Newman comes set. 2-1. Dropping low, another breaking pitch that missed. 3 balls and 1 strike. Just playing in 1 game today, but boy, this has been a good start to the 3-game set. Counted 3-1, infield in. The pitch and the dirt, ball 4. Jackson bumping into the umpire and shoving him out of the way. Wow, now there are runners on the corners. Got to see if Bluefield can try to turn 2 here. Here comes Matthew Vaccaro. Runners on the corners, 2-1, Reinhardt. Newman's already allowed 2 base hits, both of them being extra base hits. Here's the pitch. Vaccaro watches a fastball high. Now time called by Jackson. He's going to walk it up and talk with his pitcher, as well as Thomas Huddleston, the pitching coach. Huddleston, in his first year as the pitching coach for Bluefield, played for the Rams a few years ago, grew up in a small town in Tennessee, played some independent ball out in New Mexico, Roswell, New Mexico, and I bet he really prefers the weather here. He was talking about being recruited by Southeastern, and it just didn't go with him, especially with how warm it is. He doesn't want to sweat when he's playing baseball. But then he went out to New Mexico and played for Roswell. It's about 100 degrees out there. And now in his sweatshirt, keeping him warm, he's going to jog right back to the dugout. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Rams have some arms warming up in the bullpen. 6th inning of work for Caleb Newman. 5 hits allowed and just 2 runs so far. Well, he flinches for the pickoff. No throw, scampering back to the bag, Jacob Cagle. Vaccaro waits, 1-0. Right down the middle, strike 1. Inning started off with a fly out from Trawick to Josh McGee. Good double from Caleb Swayze that bounced all the way to the left center field wall. The triple from Sherman Graves leaked down the third baseline. The 1-1. Fastball inside corner, there's strike 2. McGee didn't field it on time, really, so Graves got all the way to third where he still stands. Meanwhile, Jacob Cagle got the walk. He's at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Waving the bat behind his head. Here's the 1-2. In the dirt and outside. Well, Jackson's getting a workout today from these low breaking pitches. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Reinhardt trying to send these runners in. Just in the top of the 6th. Newman relaxes, fires. Outside corner, strike 3. 7th strikeout of the game for Caleb Newman, and now Bluefield can breathe a little bit more. There are 2 outs in the top of the 6th, so they won't have to rely on that double play. That's a good strikeout there. And now some arms starting to warm up out there. Looks like it's Tyler Conklin and maybe Peyton Tennant as well. And that'll bring up Andres Ugarte. Ugarte on the day has struck out twice. He was caught stealing, though, after he got on base with that strikeout with a pitch in the dirt in the 5th. Newman looking around. 2 outs now. 2-1 the score in favor of Reinhardt. The pitch. Ugarte watches the fastball drop outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Rams trying to keep this damage at a minimum here. There's 1 run allowed so far in this 6th. Pitch. Swung on and popped up right behind home plate. After it goes out of play, there's a ball and a strike. Ugarte from Venezuela. Let's see if he can have any hits here to bring in the runner, as well as the other runner at first base. A lot of pop for the bats for Reinhardt. 1-1. Swung on and popped up once again behind home plate. Jackson will take off his mask and watch it just plunk onto that overhang. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Newman awaiting. Ugarte looking at that neon yellow bat who walked back in on the right side of the box. Looking down at his black cleats. Newman now looking back at Jackson, his battery mate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners on the corners. The deal. Hit him. And Ugarte will get to first and the bases are loaded. Meanwhile, Cagle was already going to second base. And that's a big loss right there for Caleb Newman. Now it looks like the courtesy runner will come in again. It's M.J. Arnold. And we'll have to see what Abel Nunez does here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Now this is a significant jam here. Just a 1-run lead for Reinhardt, but you have to see what Newman could do. He had him down in a 1-2 count, and that breaking pitch just crept a little too far inside. Pitch. Nunez takes a fastball just a bit outside. There's ball 1. He singled back in the 3rd inning and was brought in by the sacrifice fly from Daniel Rodriguez. So Abel Nunez is one of the 2 runs scored today for Reinhardt. Count at 1-0 and the base is loaded. Newman offers up. In the dirt, leaking away from Jackson, tossed to home, tag, in time. What a play by Jackson. And Jordan Jackson able to keep away from that breaking pitch, fielded it, and going down at home plate, Sherman Graves. Great job by Jackson, and it's still 2-1, bottom of the 6th. Rams trail by 1. Well, after the heads-up play by Jordan Jackson, Reinhardt misses an opportunity there with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Rams trail by 1 run, though, as Reinhardt scored 1 in the top of the 6th. Gifford still working, and here's Jose Perez. Big cut and a miss for the second baseman. Perez came in to score in the 4th inning. He singled. That was on a ball. He batted into the dirt. Wold couldn't keep it up. Now the 0-1. Right down Broadway. There's strike 2. 2-3-4 up for Bluefield. Jason Gifford working very well. His fielders have backed him up. And the count at 0-2 with no outs. Here's the pitch. Fastball high and in. It's been an up and down game, especially in that top of the 6th. With everything that happened to Bluefield right there, they're pretty lucky they only came away with 1 run allowed. So Jose Perez watches a fastball go high and outside. Especially on that RBI triple from Sherman Graves that was swung and hit hard down the 3rd baseline. McGee didn't look like he knew to field it immediately. He thought that ball was foul. And because of that, Graves got all the way to 3rd. Ended up being thrown out at home. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. A rare strikeout from Jose Perez. And that starts out the bottom of the 6th with an out. 7 strikeouts for Jason Gifford. And here's Josh McGee, who's one of them. He had a single in the 4th inning, a blooper right into right center field. That did well because Jose Perez moved all the way to 3rd and ended up scoring on the double play hit into by Marcus Espinal. First pitch to McGee. Swing and a foul tip, and it'll go right behind the catcher, Ugarte. Count at 0-1 with 1 out. This could be a really week-changing win for Bluefield if they're able to come back. Reinhardt into this game at 32-13, 16-5 AAC. 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike two. After that midweek sweep from Hiwassee, the Rams really need some more positive vibes going into the weekend. And a few more in the win column, as they are just 7-13 AAC. The 0-2. Fastball low and away. Kind of like the way that Gifford carries himself on the mound. A lot of confidence, moves fast. That's why he's one of the better pitchers in the AAC and the Friday starter for Reinhardt. This team from Waleska, Georgia leads 2-1. One out, nobody on for Bluefield in the bottom of the sixth. And the 1-2. In the dirt, and the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rams with 5 hits on the day. The best opportunities to score were back in the third inning when Ackerman doubled and Meadows singled. A little bit of a bobbling play when they were trying to keep Ackerman at third. Meadows should have went to second to try to bait a throw that would have brought Ackerman in. And then after that, with runners on the corners and 1 out, a double play was hit into. 2-2. Just a bit high, there's ball 3. Full count to McGee. Rams also had 2 men on in the 5th. Could not score there either. Payoff. Swung on, a line drive through the stretch of Rodriguez, and McGee has 2 singles. So not necessarily those big, powerful hits we're seeing from Josh McGee today. They'll take him with a couple of little singles he gets on. Rams still alive. 1 out, 2-1 the score. Reinhardt leading by 1. We're on the bottom of the 6th, and Marcus Espinal will step up to the plate. Doesn't have an RBI, and now time called. John Harris, the pitching coach, going to talk this one over with Jason Gifford, trying to see what type of situation the Rams can get into here. Rams have not bunted today. You probably won't expect it here. Especially with McGee just at first base. Well, just 1 out. Harris in his first year as the pitching coach for Reinhardt will turn around and go right back in towards the dugout. 2-1 the score. Thanks for tuning in on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Digging in right side, Espinal looking into the dugout and goes right back up. Big lead at first for McGee. The pitch and the dirt. McGee will have to scamper back to the bag. Well, when he led off and that pitch was going through, McGee faked like he was going to run and then juked right back to the bag. Rams trying to play strategically here. Marcus Espinal is 0 for 2. McGee galloping off the bag at first. It could be the tying run for Bluefield. 1-0, McGee going. Pitch outside, throw to second. He's out. Oh, McGee, not a good enough jump, and Ugarte saw that from a mile away. So the Venezuelan guns down McGee. Now there's 2 outs. Ball and a strike to Marcus Espinal. And the 1-1. Swung on and poked down the right field line. There's a base hit for Espinal. He's going to roll out to Swayze, and he's on with a 2-out single. Here's Jordan Jackson, another player that's due. Right in the middle of that lineup, not a lot of production today with Jackson and Torres as well as Espinal. And now a base hit. Here comes Jordan Jackson on the right side of the plate. Good crowd out here for Bluefield coming into the weekend senior day. Jackson playing in one of his final few games. Rams will play their final home game on Tuesday. Here's the pitch. Just about outside, rolling in the dirt, going to second. Espinal, throw there. Not in time, and Marcus Espinal advances. He was tangled up with Wold, who was covering. And Espinal slid in feet first and almost spiked the second baseman. So now a man in scoring position. Only Force now is at first base. Count at 1-0 to Jackson. Struck out swinging in the 4th inning and also grounded out to short. One ball, no strikes. Jackson up in the box, the pitch. Check swing in the dirt, going to third. Espinal throw there. He is safe. Once again, Marcus Espinal running around. Good jumps there for the third baseman. He has been all over it if the ball's in the dirt. And Jason Gifford now has to worry about potentially the tying run at third base. Now Mike White smiling. He likes the jump from Marcus Espinal, who just had that single. 2 outs, 2-1 the score. We're in the bottom of the 6th. The offer. Fastball clocking in right down the middle. There's strike 1. Jason Gifford looking out of that white cap with the blue brim. Coming set. Espinal walking 4th at 3rd. 2-1. Inside, strike 2. Jackson tried to turn on it, but that was a great breaking pitch from Gifford. Count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Espinal could tie it. He's at 3rd. Pitch to Jackson. Just a bit outside. There's ball 3. And Gifford was ready to walk into the dugout again. Already has accumulated 7 strikeouts on the mound today. With the sun beaming down on the first base side, Reinhardt trying to leave another Bluefield runner stranded. Full count to Jackson. Now the payoff. Swung on, ground ball straight to short. Rodriguez Fields throws to first in time. And once again, Bluefield leaves a runner at third base. So it's 2-1, a couple of missed opportunities there for the Rams after 2 hits and no errors. And Reinhardt leads by 1, headed to the 7th inning. Abel Nunez will lead it off in the 7th, and he grounds it over to short, fielded by Castro. Long throw out of the dirt. Not in time on the scoop from Oscar Torres. That was pretty close, though. Abel Nunez on with an infield single. It's 2-1 Reinhardt starting out the 7th inning. Caleb Newman working into his 7th inning of work. And now, once again, MJ Jordan will go over to first base. Or MJ Arnold, excuse me. So Nunez on with his single, and Chandler Wold will step up. That's the 6th hit of the day for the Eagles. Now the second baseman has doubled so far today. And Newman comes set with a runner at first. Pitch showing bunt, lays it down first base side, fielded by Torres, and he just bobbled the ball in the grass. Oh, he did it so slowly, and all he had to do was just pick it up. He waved off the pitcher, Newman, who was ready to toss it to first, and that is a detrimental error there. Moving over to second base, it'll be an E3. Now back to the top of the lineup, and the pitcher has to be frustrated there. Torres must have been worried about ham-fisting that ball in the infield grass, but instead he barely touched it. And that's just the first error of the day for Bluefield. That's why this game has been so close. The fielding has been there. Now 2 runners on base. Back to the top of the lineup with Daniel Rodriguez. Pick off to second, and Arnold gets back to the bag. Reinhardt scored a run in the 6th inning. In a close ball game. Newman working from the stretch, delivers. And a bunt laid down. It'll roll down the third baseline foul. No balls, 1 strike, no outs. There's no outs. Jose Perez covering the bag at second base. And now Torres walking up on the first baseline. No balls, 1 strike, no outs. Newman looking around. A long stare, pitch, bunt laid down, bouncing left side. Espinal charges, no throw to first, and the bases are loaded. Small ball at its finest for Reinhardt. Bluefield was just kind of tangled up there on what they were supposed to do. And after that bunt single from Daniel Rodriguez, he's on base. And Matt Trawick will step up to the plate. Trawick is 0 for 3. Flew out to left his last time on a hard hit ball, infield in. Trawick strides in, rolls away from Jackson, and Newman gallops towards home plate. M.J. Arnold will not try to come in and score. So the inning started off with a single from Abel Nunez. That was an infield single as Castro nearly sniped him out at first base. Then M.J. Arnold came in to run. Right after that, rolled on with an E3 by Oscar Torres as Torres couldn't pick the ball up. And a bunt single from Daniel Rodriguez. Bases loaded, no outs. First pitch, or rather the 1-0 is a bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes. 2-1 the score. Game 1 of this 3-game set. Reinhardt trying to solidify their place as the top team in the AAC, going in towards the conference tournament. 2 balls, no strikes. Trawick at the plate. Oh, the base is juiced. 2-0. Swung on and hit high in the air, out to left center field. Ackerman racing, and that ball will hit the warning track. Runners coming around, and it looks like it's going to be a 3-run triple. It's 5-1. Huge piece of hitting there from Matt Trawick. He absolutely bombed that ball just about 5 feet away from being a grand slam, and Trawick able to put Reinhardt up by 4. And you got to look at those 2 tough plays. Can't really blame Bailey Castro fielding it deep in the 5-6 hole. But then that error from Oscar Torres, wow. So the 3-run triple brings it to 5-1, and it looks like Mike White will take out his senior pitcher. And that is it for Caleb Newman after 6 innings of work, and possibly giving up 5 runs, maybe 6 if Trawick is able to come in. It's 5-1 Reinhardt. Now we're headed to a new pitcher for Bluefield. It'll be Peyton Tennant. Going to let him warm up, and we're going to be right back. Peyton Tennant comes in to try to fan off these flames. It's 5-1 Reinhardt in the top of the 7th. No outs and a runner at third base right after that 3-run triple from Matt Trawick. Here's Caleb Swayze batting left-handed. Peyton Tennant with a 10.80 ERA. First pitch. And the lefty fires outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Tennant coming from Georgia. So far in the year, he's 3-0, though, with 21 2/3 innings pitched. 32 hits, 31 runs, 26 of them earned. Now the 1-0. Swayze strides into it with that lead foot, but doesn't swing. 2 balls, no strikes. So the Rams were hanging tough, and now it's starting to unload. The pitch, fastball inside. Then it does have 19 walks to 18 strikeouts this year. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the lead and the pitch. Fastball right down the middle. Gets right back into it. And you got to think, though, for Caleb Newman, that was still a solid day on the mound against one of the best teams in the AAC. Inning started off with a little sneaky single from Nunez. Wold got on with the error. Now the 3-1. Fastball outside corner. That'll keep Swayze at the plate. And then the single from Daniel Rodriguez on a bunt. That is 3 straight plays where Bluefield had a chance to throw the runner out. Now the payoff. Swung on and tipped foul, bouncing and ricocheting towards the Bluefield dugout. Thanks for being with us at Bowen Field today across the Rams Digital Sports Network. Rams trying to avoid their 3rd loss in a row and start off the series right against Reinhardt. Now they have 2 games tomorrow. Another 3-2 pitch. And the lefty walks him. So Swayze will get on with a walk, and now there are runners on the corner still with no outs. 5-1 the score in favor of Reinhardt. That'll bring up Sherman Graves. He had a triple as well. Brought in a run back in the 6th. That scored a run and gave the lead right back to Reinhardt. 5-1 Eagles. I think from batters 1 through 9, Reinhardt has a definite deep lineup. As Sherman Graves jumps out of the way of that fastball low and in, ball 1. Now it looks like some more movement in the bullpen for Bluefield. Lefty to righty matchup, the pitch. Swung on and popped up. Shallow side, foul territory on the right. Jose Perez can't track it down. Now the count evens at a ball and a strike. So no outs, and the long inning continues. Tennant trying to at least get 1 here. Trawick could be the last run attributed to Caleb Newman. Big lead for him, the 1-1. Swung on and ripped. Deep center field. Ackerman racing back, and he makes the catch right in front of the wall. Trawick's going to tag up, and it's 6-1. Still got to like for Bluefield that Ackerman covers so much ground and was able to race and get it. But now it's a 5-run lead. Rams finally have an out. Runner stays at first base. And here comes Jacob Cagle. Cagle with a single back of the 2nd inning, and he was walked as well, so he's 1 for 2. Lefty to righty, Tennant taking a look at pitches. Fastball clocking right down the middle. There's strike 1. So this 7th inning has gotten away from Bluefield. 4 runs have scored for the Eagles so far. And that error by Oscar Torres was a really tough one for Bluefield to digest. The 0-1. Fastball rising high. Ball and a strike. Going back to the bunt on Chandler Wold. Torres fielded. He actually told Newman to back off. And Torres was trying to pick the ball up with his glove and it just left in the grass because he had to pick it up to tag him. It was going to be tough for him to turn around and toss it to Jose Perez. One. Swung on and pulled foul left side. Got a lot of carry out of play. Ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Now looking over at his third base coach, you have to see if Cagle, the third baseman, can get anything done here. Team already leading by 5. Peyton Tennant trying to get 2 more outs. There's only 1 out with a runner at first. The young lefty pitches. Swing and a foul ball. That's got a piece of it. And actually, it was a miss and caught by Jackson. Let's see where that one went. There's strikeout number 1 for Tennant. And now here's Matthew Vaccaro. Vaccaro's 0 for 3. He struck out looking. So now 6 runs allowed by Caleb Newman. Pitch. Vaccaro watches a fastball fly high and outside. Got that odd batting stance where his bat is about 5 inches behind his helmet and pointed at an angle. One 0. Outside and low. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base, a 6-1 lead for Reinhardt. Now a little bit more comfortable here. 2-0. Inside and low. Lefty missing. Gotta wonder if Tennant will get another inning of work. Especially with a few arms warming up in the bullpen. Rams not using up their entire bullpen here today. 3-0. Right down Broadway, there's strike 1. So Nunez, represented by M.J. Arnold, came around to score, as did Wold, Rodriguez, and Trawick. Counted 3-1. Runner at first. Outside corner, strike 2. He was ready to walk that over to first base. There's now a full count. Matthew Vaccaro looking like he wanted to get on base for the first time today. Now has to go back up to the plate. Meanwhile, the runner went over to second. Swayze just got there. Payoff. Swinging a foul tip, dribbling over towards the Reinhardt dugout. Right back up to the plate on the right side. Count is still full. Tennant working with 2 outs and 1 runner in scoring position. His team's down by 5. Takes a look, payoff. And that hit him. So he lost him there. Runners on the corners. Now has to go back to second base. And that will probably be it for Peyton Tennant. So he's able to get a couple of outs, but now runners are on the corners. And we're going to be right back. It's 6-1. And now runner at second and first, with 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Tyler Conklin now on the mound for Bluefield, the third pitcher in the top of the 7th. 2 runners on, and now the freshman from Greenville, North Carolina will deal, and it's a fastball to Andres Ugarte, the catcher, watching it high. 6-1, 4 runs have scored for Reinhardt here in the top of the 7th, and this was very promising for Bluefield going into this inning. After that single from Nunez and the error from Oscar Torres, everything went downhill. Now Conklin trying to get out of the inning, though. Big swing and a miss for Ugarte. There's strike 1. Conklin on the year, 6.75. Does have 2 saves. Pitch. Fastball high and in. A big right-handed pitcher, 6'2". And Reinhardt trying to put on a few more runs here. This is an Eagles team that received votes to be ranked in the NAIA. Now starting off this 7th well. Looking around, 2-1. Swung on and poked to shallow center. Ackerman charging up. That'll drop in for a base hit. Swayze will score, throw to third, rolling past Espinal, bouncing off the bag, and sliding in safely there will be Vaccaro. Meanwhile, advancing on the throw, Ugarte moves to second base. So now it's 7-1. This has just been a long one here. Six-run lead, and now Tyler Conklin has to worry about batting for the first time today. MJ Arnold. They have now batted around. This is the 10th batter of the inning. Pitch. And Arnold watches the fastball go right across for a strike. He was the runner that came in for Nunez to start off the inning. We're at the top of the 7th. 5 runs have already scored for Reinhardt. And this has been a tough one to swallow for Bluefield. A run scoring in the 3rd for the Eagles as well as the 6th, but now 5 in the top of the 7th. 2 runners in scoring position. And Arnold takes a fastball across the middle for strike 1. Got it. No balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Pitch. Swung on and sliced out to right field. Meadows racing up, dives. He can't make the catch. It rolls behind him. Arnold on his way to second and sliding in fast. It's a 2 RBI double, and it's already 9-1. Meadows just had to roll the dice there. MJ Arnold coming in and getting the job done with that double. Now 7 runs have scored. Here comes Chandler Wold. First pitch outside. It was such a solid start from Caleb Newman. And after this inning, the bases loaded up so quickly with no outs, and the Rams just let it slip through their fingertips. And now Conklin is trying to just get this last out. It's been a challenge. The pitch. Fastball high and away. That's going back to what I was saying earlier. A lot of these Reinhardt guys going from the first spot in the batting lineup down to 9, they all have the ability to hit the ball very far. And you look at Chandler Wold, who is, mind you, 1 for 2 with a run scored. He has a double today as he swings and drills it down the left field line. That is just foul. Got on with an error that really sparked the downhill plunge of Bluefield back earlier in this inning. And in those situations, also bunting extremely well. Going back to Daniel Rodriguez, he loaded up the bases on that little bunt. It's 9-1. 8-run lead for Reinhardt, 2-1. There's a breaking pitch that hits the outside corner. Count at 2-2. Runner at second, and Abel Nunez, rather MJ Arnold. Just got on with a 2 RBI double with 2 outs. 2-2 pitch coming up. Here it is from Conklin. Fastball outside corner, and that is it for the 7th inning. 7 runs come across to score for Reinhardt, and we are in stretch time with Bluefield down by 8 on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Now here's Jesus Roldan after stretch time. Rams are down 9-1. Roldan batting in the place of Oscar Torres, likely to play at first right after this. Torres went 0 for 1. Jason Gifford still on the mound, working in his 7th inning of work, and he's been impressive so far, just allowing 1 run on 7 hits. Also 7 strikeouts for the righty. Here's Roldan, the senior from New York, on the 0-1. Check swing, foul ball, and it'll roll out of play. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. So it'll likely be Roldan, Ackerman, and Nick Meadows. Rams with a long hill to climb, allowing 7 runs back at the top of the 7th. Rams had to throw out 3 pitchers. Newman, Peyton, Tennant, and Tom finally got it done. Oh-2. Just a bit outside. Rams played pretty for 6 innings. Good job of Newman. And Bluefield was good, but Rams only have 1 today. But looking in the past, now the 1-2. And it is a fastball high and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That is really where the Rams just let the games get away from them. So after Oscar Torres just left the ball in the infield on that bunt attempt, everything just went downhill from there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now the offer of fastball high and away, ball 3. Also just 1 walk on the day for Jason Gifford. He's been able to retire the Rams relatively swiftly. Payoff. Swung on and sliced foul, and it will droop over the batting facility and roll towards the bullpen for the Rams. Now, if the ball rolls out into fair territory, the Rams will have to just get it back into the dugout. Now time is called by Ugarte. Glad to have you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. It's been a fun one. Rams have kept it alive for the most of the game, but then going into the top of the 7th, it just went down. Roldan will step back in. Payoff. Fastball just a bit low and away, ball 4. Second walk, and that'll be Jordan Ackerman's turn now. He flew out to left his last time, also doubled in the third. So the center fielder is 1 for 2. No outs, a runner at first base, and an 8-run lead for Reinhardt. Game has already gone over 2 hours. Only one today. Here's the pitch. Swinging a little nubber, first base side, foul. Count no balls, 1 strike. Got an 0-1. Rams playing in their penultimate AAC series. 0-1. And across the plate, strike 2. They're going to play St. Andrews on Monday after they had a doubleheader against the Knights a few weeks ago. The Rams were able to sweep that. And then the Knights are going to come back up here from Laurinburg, North Carolina, and conclude it with just 1 game. But, of course, 2 games tomorrow starting at noon. I had that for you here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Another pickoff attempt as Roldan dives back into first base. Bluefield's also supposed to play against Bluefield State. The Big Blues trying to come across through the Virginia border. 0-2. Swung on and lifted high in the air out to center. Well, Trawick will find it in the sky, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. Roldan goes back to the bag at first, and here's Nick Meadows. Well, Bluefield State plays their home games out in Princeton. We'll have more for you on that as Nick Meadows takes a fastball outside. They don't play at Bowen Field, though. They have been before. 1 ball, no strikes, and 1 out. Roldan at first. Meadows on with a single earlier today. Another pickoff attempt. Roldan scampers back to the bag. One ball, no strikes, 1 out. 9-1 the score. Boy, Reinhardt with Jason Gifford. It's been tough for Bluefield to come back. Another pickoff attempt. He laser beams to first base. Ball and no strikes with 1 out. Nick Meadows, the freshman. This a little bit more interesting. The offer. Swinging a bouncer over to short. Rodriguez tags second. Throw to first a bit low, but snagged there by Graves. And that's it for the 7th inning. Another double play turned by Rodriguez at short. And Bluefield comes up empty in the 7th inning. 9-1 the score. 8-run lead for Reinhardt. About to go to the 8th at Bowen Field. Now Tyler Conklin on the mound to try to complete inning of work. Here in the 8th inning, it's a fastball is fired on the outside corner to strike one. There's Danny Rodriguez. That was 7 innings or 7 runs in the 7th inning for this Reinhardt Eagles team. Rodriguez fouls it back on a check swing. No balls, 2 strikes. Got a quick update that Truett McConnell is actually beating the Union College Bears right now. And that could be a lot for Bluefield, the 0-2. Swung on and grounded sharply down the third baseline foul. Right now, Truett McConnell is the number 7 team in the AAC. Union is at 9. And then the Rams play in Barbersville, Kentucky next week. The Bulldogs, excuse me. The Bears are winning. Truett McConnell. And Truett McConnell at 7. And if Union loses these next few games, the Rams will solidify that 8 spot. Here's a fastball high and away on Rodriguez. So it'll be Rodriguez, Trawick, and Swayze. That'll be the final AAC Conference Series of the year for Bluefield in the regular season. 1-2. And the dirt scooped out by Jackson. That's a big road trip the Rams are taking next week. Drive through the mountains down to Barbersville, Kentucky. Actually went there with the basketball team this year, and Union ended up solidifying the regular season championship. Now the pitch, grounded over to first, gobbled up there by Roldan, who'll tag the bag at first. And that is it for Daniel Rodriguez in the 8th. Quick one out, and here is Matt Trawick. Trawick really put the nails in the coffin maybe with that big 3-run triple with the bases loaded. So he's 1 for 4 today. Ended up scoring a run as well. The pitch. Outside and low. Came in to score off the sacrifice fly from Sherman Graves. And boy, for Trawick, he killed that ball. The 1-0. Swinging a liner down the left field line. It'll hook foul. And the count is at 1-1. The Tripoli hit went out to left center field, and it bounced right off of that Bluefield State College sign where center field and left field meet in a bend. Just a little bit more wind. That would have been a grand slam for him. 1-1. Fastball across the plate, strike 2. The ball and 2 strikes in 1 out. Conklin's just trying to 8th inning unscathed. Kicking the 1-2. Swinging a lifted ball into left center, carrying once again. Ackerman dives. He can't make the catch. It'll roll to that same alleyway. Trawick looking for his 2nd triple of the day, and he's held up at second base. Pickoff attempt. Tag there for Castro. No. Well, Bluefield just might have to pick up the pieces of tomorrow's series starting at noon. Mike White likely will not want to use another bullpen pitcher coming out here. Using up all of his arms. The pitch, a fastball low and in. Here's 1 ball, no strikes. Might have to go with Alex Perkins tomorrow, maybe Jackson Keene. After starting out a senior today, we go with the young pitchers again. Keene has struggled, and Perkins swing and a miss. So Conklin trying to fire his way back. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Conklin looking around the pitch. Swung on, ground ball on the first base side, bobbled by Roldan, and that is going to be picked up by Perez. So another error. And now runners are on the corners. Still 9-1, so Swayze on. Well, Don was just trying to scoop it up with a little bit of English and couldn't get it. That'll bring up Sherman Graves. This has gotten away from Bluefield in a hurry. 9-1 the score. Reinhardt looking for a way to possibly end it. Conklin deals. Swung on and popped up. Graves sends it behind home plate. Jackson giving chase, and he can't make the catch as the ball creeps over that fence. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Well, Conklin is in a situation that he's just trying to get some more pedigree for his pitching. A fastball high. Not a lot to work for, down by 8. This is a nice day at the ballpark. And the Rams aren't getting out hit by that much. The pitch. Swung on and lifted into deep left. McGee trotting back, and he'll jump to make a bobbling move as the ball drops in the warning track. That'll be likely an E7. And now he's over at second base. Josh McGee tumbling out there in the warning track. And another run comes in to score. So now it's 10-1. Swayze moving all the way to third. Third error for for Bluefield. They're all coming in the 7th and 8th innings. And now the athletic trainer is going to talk this one over for Josh McGee. So Graves on at second with an E7. And it looked like he tumbled into the wall and might have cut up his forehead. Ten to 1 the score. There was a time of this game was just 2-1 going into the 7th inning. Since then, 8 runs have came across for Reinhardt. And so far, just 1 out. 2 runners in scoring position, and McGee will be subbed out, it looks like. And you can't tell if he hit his head on the wall or maybe a ball hit him in the head. Either way, here comes Caleb Wood. So McGee seems to be okay. He's just patching up something on his head right now going into the dugout. Can't really tell if that ball hit him in the head or maybe he scraped his head going down, dropping it. A hefty ball from Sherman Graves. It's 10-1. Here comes Jacob Cagle with just 1 out. A 9-run lead. Boy, Bluefield in these last few games have been outscored by a good amount. Conklin coming set, 2 runners in scoring position. A 9-run lead for Reinhardt. The pitch, and Cagle lifts it foul right behind home plate. No clouds in sight, no shade on the field right now. Oh, the sun just creeping over on the first base side. 2.5-hour game. We're in the top of the 8th. Moving swiftly until the 7th. Conklin fires. Swung on and lifted down the left field line. There's another base hit. Runs are going to score. Graves on his way home, and Cagle in with the 2 RBI double. The runs are just piling up, and you have to wonder if Bluefield will make a change here and just try to weather this one out. It's 12-1. And now a pinch hitter will step up for Matthew Picaro. Looks like that's going to be number 19, Grant Saint. 12-1.
Grant saying it. On the air now making. Fastball. This is chest.
And the count is out. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Saints standing at 5, 10, 15 from Dalton, Georgia. Transfer from Chattanooga State, 1-2. Fastball outside. There's only one out. Inning started off with Rodriguez. Double from Traywick. Swayze got on by a roll down error. Sherman Gray served it out to left field. He bobbled it to the ground.
And Cagle on with a 2 RBI double. 2-2 the score. Conklin deals. Swung on and fouled straight back. Count stays even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Saying where the pinstripe pants is teammate over at second base. And there is just 1 out. Two balls, 2 strikes. But for Conklin, just trying to end this inning. The pitch, fastball outside, ball 3. And you have to go back and look at the 7th inning and see what really happened for Bluefield and why all these runs came in at such a fast pace. You know, that error, I went back after that from Oscar Torres, and you can't put it on him. Payoff. Swung on, popped up right behind home plate. Jackson trying to find it. And it goes over the wall, out of play. And the count will stay at 3-2. I'm not trying to pick on Torres, but that might be the moment that just a lot of things went south from there. Newman lost a little bit of the stuff he had in the first 6 innings, and Reinhardt was able to connect. The depth in the lineup has been something to note for Reinhardt as well. I mean, extra base hits from all up and down the lineup. Runner at second, 1 out, the payoff again. Swung on and fouled straight back. Sainz staying in this at bat. 10 runs scoring for Reinhardt in the 7th and 8th innings combined. 3 so far in this inning. Now 12-1, an 11-run lead. Conklin looking around. 3-2. Swung on and drilled. Left field. Wood stumbling, and that's going to bounce to the wall again. Cagle will score, and it's an RBI double. It's 13-1. So a pinch hit opportunity. Sane does his best with it, and now it is 13-1. So now another new batter. It's going to be Christopher Basilio, redshirt sophomore from Miami, Florida. Pitch. And the Jackson State transfer watches the fastball hit the outside corner for strike 1. Welcome back to Bluefield, everybody. Bluefield trailing this one 13-1. Sorry about those technical difficulties. There's 2 outs and Jose Perez with nobody on. Just fouls it off right in front of his body. Well, the first 2 batters retired in this one. Cardona able to ground out to second base, and Castro also went down. 13-1, a 12-run lead for Reinhardt. They scored 4 runs in the top of the 8th and then 7 in the top of the 7th. And a new pitcher in as well for Reinhardt. Deal. Swung on and sliced out to shallow right. There's a base hit for Jose Perez, his second today. So his second single, see if he can try to score his second run of the day as well. It's 13-1 with 2 outs. And the lefty in is Brennan Vincent, the left-handed pitcher, just a freshman from Cumming, Georgia. Here comes Caleb Wood, brought in for Josh McGee after McGee seemed to have cut up his forehead on an attempted catch out and left. As Wood pops it up, first base side, giving chase as Graves, and he almost tumbled right over that fence trying to catch it. There's strike one. Glad you can be here on the Rams Digital Sports Network with just 1 strike and 2 outs. Caleb Wood, coming from New Mexico, is trying to belt in Jose Perez. Kick and the 0-1. Swinging a foul tip, bouncing right near our press box. That's on the third base side, by the way. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So the Rams pitching might just have to be a little bit deeper tomorrow. It was a good day for Jason Gifford, going 7 innings and only allowing 1 run on 7 hits. That's 7 strikeouts as well. The 0-2 to Wood. Swing and a miss at a pitch in the dirt. Will have to run to first. Ugarte rockets there. And that is it for the 8th inning. Rams still trail by 12. And you have to see who they throw out there in the 9th inning. It's 13-1. And actually, that is the ball game. So you have the mercy ruling in effect in this conference game. It's 13-1, and Reinhardt able to get game 1, and Bluefield will have to be right back at it again tomorrow. Loss will go to Caleb Newman, Jason Gifford. What a win for him after going 7 innings. This one's over in 8. 13-1 the score. Reinhardt improves to 33-13 on the year, 17-5 in conference, while Bluefield College falls to 22-17 and 7-14 in the AAC. 3rd loss in a row for Bluefield, and they're just going to have to try to regroup with a doubleheader on senior day tomorrow, a 9-inning game and a 7-inning game. So reminding you the final score of game 1 of this series. My name is Bailey Angle. 13-1. Reinhardt wins. And until tomorrow at noon, take it easy, Rams fans.